Hello everyone! In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this quick and beautiful beanie hat. For more information, please check out the drop-down description box below or visit my website, jonnamartinez.com. You can also find this pattern on my Etsy or Ravelry shop. In this tutorial, I'm going to crochet the adult women's size. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Now let's get started. For materials, I am using a super bulky category 5 yarn. You can also make this hat using 2 strands of worsted weight yarn held together. To watch me crochet with 2 strands held together, be sure to watch to the end of this video. You will also need a K 6.5mm crochet hook, a tape measure, a yarn needle, 2 stitch markers, a pair of scissors, a pom-pom and a button to hold on the pom-pom, or a pom-pom keeper. To begin, create a slip knot of your choice. Next, chain 34. Remember, this loop on your hook never counts as a chain. Once I have 34 chains, I will meet back up. You can pause the video here. Once I have chained 34, we can begin row 1. Slip stitch into your second chain from hook. Slip stitch 2 more times. Now we have 3 slip stitches. Single crochet 3. Half double crochet your remaining stitches. Continue half double crocheting until you get to the end of your chain. I will meet back up when I have completed these stitches. You can pause the video here. Here I am at the end of row 1. At this point, we are going to stop and measure our work to make sure we have the right gauge. For the adult woman's size, you want your work to measure about 12 inches or 30.5 centimeters. If your work measures larger than this, you want to go down a hook size. If your work is too small, you want to go up a hook size. Chain 2 and turn to begin your next row. Looking at our work here, we have the loop on our hook, our chain 2 turning chain, and our first stitch. This first stitch has a back loop and a front loop. We're going to be working from the top and grabbing the back loop only. Make sure you are working from the top of your work, as you can also see there are V's on the front of your work. Continue placing half double crochet back loop only until you have only 6 stitches remaining. Once we get there, I will meet back up. Here is my work at the end of row 2. I have 6 stitches remaining. We are going to single crochet back loop only 3 stitches. Slip stitch back loop only the last 3 stitches. This narrow portion of our work is the top of the hat. Chain 1 and turn. Row 3. Slip stitch back loop only 3 stitches. There's the loop on your hook, your chain 1 turning chain, and then your very first stitch. Single crochet back loop only 3 stitches. Half double crochet back loop only your remaining stitches. Once we get to the end, I will meet back up. If you're crocheting with me, go ahead and pause the video. Here I am at the end of row 3, and I just wanted to point out that your last stitch can look rounded here at the end. You want to be sure and get that last stitch, otherwise your hat will get shorter. You can use a stitch marker in the very first stitch of row 2 to help you remember to use this stitch. Chain 2 and turn. To begin row 4, we have our loop on our hook, chain 2 turning chain, and our first stitch. Half double crochet back loop only until we have 6 stitches remaining. Again, if you are crocheting with me, you can pause the video here. Now we will work the last 6 stitches. Single crochet back loop only 3. Slip stitch back loop only 3. Now here you can chain 1 and turn. When we're at the slip stitch side of our work, you're always going to chain 1. When you're at the wider end of your work, where the half double crochet are, you're going to chain 2 and turn. Repeat row 3 and row 4 until you have 32 rows or about 21 inches. Once you have your rows complete, make sure your hat is lying on a nice flat surface, and now you can measure. The top of your hat is going to be narrower, so you want to measure the bottom half of your hat. You will measure the bottom edge. My hat measures about 21 inches. At this point, you can add more rows if needed. Now we can sew our hat closed and also sew the top closed. Here's how I measure to make sure I have enough yarn to sew up my hat. Next, you want to put your yarn needle on and just sew through that last loop. Then you're just going to do a basic stitch, making sure the ends of your hat is lining up as you sew. When you get to the end, make sure and weave in that last bit and snip off the extra. Next, we're going to sew the top of the hat closed. Go ahead and use a little bit more yarn. Just do a simple knot, and then we're going to be going into just the row ends all the way around the hat. Pull it closed. Tie a knot. Weave in your ends. This is how I add my pom-pom, and for this hat, because it's an adult hat, I'm going to use a pom-pom keeper. This pom-pom has an elastic loop, so I'm just going to put the pom-pom on the inside of the hat, grab the loop through, and place the pom-pom keeper. Then turn your hat right side out, roll up the brim, and your hat is ready to wear. Here is this hat in newborn size. Remember, you can make this infant size using my written pattern, available on Etsy or Ravelry. As I said before, you can also make this hat using 2 strands of worsted weight yarn held together. Here I will show you a little bit of me working up this hat in Heartland yarn. And if you're enjoying this tutorial, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. I have everything I'm using in this tutorial linked in the drop-down description box. Thanks for watching! Have a lovely crochet day, and I hope to see you again in my next tutorial.